Okay, a very good evening to all of you, my friends, relatives, well-wishers, those of you who look forward to being on our program. Once again, it's Thursday, and I don't know what is happening because it seems like yesterday was Thursday. It
Mhm.
seems that quick that just yesterday, or seems like Thursday just went, and now Thursday is here again. So I don't know what's happening. Apparently, the world is spinning a little faster, and time
Yeah,
is going a little quicker. I want to welcome my friends, all of you, to our program today, and I have with me Dr. Richard. Welcome, Dr. Richard, once again.
thank you for
I know
inviting me.
you. I know you're experiencing the same thing because it seems
Yeah,
like Thursday was only a few hours ago.
yeah, the time is going. It's moving quick. It's moving quick.
I
You
don't
know,
know if it's because we're so busy or if it's just because the access is spinning a little faster. I don't know.
I don't know. I think I'm getting a little high turn. So
You're getting dizzy. It's going very fast. Well, we started a program a few weeks ago talking about why do people become sick, and we want to just continue and maybe wrap it up because I almost wrapped it up last week,
oh, nice.
but I had a few more things that I wanted to mention that people need to be conscious of.
Mhm.
And I first want to start by saying sickness is not normal. You know, many persons believe that sick, oh, I'm going to live and then I'm going to get sick and then I'm going to die, you know?
Mhm.
Um, Sickness is something that, for the most part, occurs when we do the wrong things or when we put ourselves in a position where the wrong things happen to us, right? And I use the phrase on my programs all the time, even when I do seminars, that we dig our graves with our teeth and we eat ourselves into our graves. And I don't know if people understand really what that means. I don't think sometimes maybe they do, but I want persons to realize that what is meant by that is the fact that we eat foods that causes us to become sick. We modify our lifestyles, which causes us to be put in a position where we become sick, you know, and sometimes we end up in the wrong place at a time where something happens that causes us to be sick.
Mhm.
You see, for instance, many persons are hypertensive and diabetic,
Mhm.
and it has been said that, oh, it's normal as you get older, these things will happen. You know, I don't know if you want to enlighten us on some of your experiences with sickness in general, and then at some point I want to talk about the death process.
Mm.
What happens that causes us to die, and how should we prepare ourselves for that process? You know, it's not easy because death is final in a sense. Death means that you can't see that physical person again, not like you see them before. You
Mhm.
can't reach out and shake their hands. You know, you can't pick up the phone and call them and say how you doing. You know, when death occurs, that is severed, and that physical body is no longer present. You see, but before that happens,
Mhm.
um, sometimes there's sudden death. You know, where things happen that you don't plan, an accident of some sort. And we have a lot of that happening on the highways and you know in the air and sometimes in the air. Like I was looking at the news 2 days ago, and there was a plane crash that occurred on the highway. It happened. This is the second time in about a month it happened. We
Mm.
all five of the persons lost their lives because something went wrong in the air with the plane, and he couldn't get to the airport to land the plane, and it crashed on the highway, and they all perished.
Wow.
It happened
Where is
in the
that in
state
Canada?
in Florida, in the
Oh,
state of Florida.
Wow.
It happened on I-95,
Whoa.
right? This is the second time in a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, that we are seeing that another plane crashed on the highway and the persons perished. I think one person survived one that occurred before recently, right? But that's what you call sudden death, where the person is not ill and something happened like that and
Mm.
they're gone. And it's very, very, very difficult to prepare yourself for something like that. It's almost impossible, because you don't know that that's going to happen. It's not like the person is sick in hospital or sick somewhere and they're ailing.
Mm.
This is a situation where the plane fell out of the sky and that's it, boom, everybody perished.
Mm.
And it made me wonder from time to time. It makes me wonder, and even when this happened again, it made me wonder when these planes are in that situation, isn't there a device or a way that you can install an emergency parachute of some sort or several of them, that when you have those incidences, you can hit the button, the parachute opens up, and the person is able to land the airplane without too much of an impact or too much of an incident. You know,
Would it be
I'm wondering if
where would the parachute be in the plane itself?
the parachute would be either the nose of the plane,
Oh, okay.
the nose, the middle, and the back of the plane.
Oh,
Where you have three of them, depending on the size of the plane and the
yeah.
weight that the parachute can actually bear the weight until they land somehow.
Well,
I mean, we have engineers in the world that are developing space rockets and spacecrafts that
yeah.
look at the spacecrafts. When those guys are coming back to Earth
Mm-hmm.
and they enter the hemisphere, what happens? A parachute opens up
Right.
and it comes down. I mean, they come down in the water, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how is it that you cannot put a parachute on these aircrafts, or maybe three of them, or two of them, that when these aircraft, I think the last one, the recent one, the pilot he was out of fuel or something like that. He had made several stops going to Florida, and maybe he had some mechanical failure of some sort, or he went out of fuel. But I heard him say that we're going down, we're not going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the last words that he uttered. We are going down, we're not going to make it. And then the plane crashed on the highway. I know you didn't see that. It was on the news, I think, 2 days ago.
No, I just stopped looking at news. I too much of that. Too much. I mean, like I said, time is going so quickly, and when you engage in doing something, it's your mind is just. I know sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not so good, but
You're so busy looking at things that are in front of you that you don't really focus on that.
you hear, hearing is active. You hear things, but when you're in an environment where everybody's like you're not really focusing on what's happening outside, then you don't hear a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. I mean,
very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Um, let's talk about the why do people become sick? What are your views on that?
well, yeah, like we talked about, I think when we made the call, we couldn't get on at the time and we made a phone call. We talked about every disease starts with inflammation, right?
Your volume is a little low. I don't know if you can turn up a little bit or.
Well, let me see if I can turn it up here. Can you hear me?
Turn up.
I turned mine up. Yeah. So we talked about that initially. Every disease starts with inflammation, and your body is designed in such a way that if something happens, uh, you know, and it's a virus or bacteria or whatever offending organism enters, or even if you had uh, accident or something is broken, then that activates acute mediators to help your body to repair itself, right? That God made us that way. But if those conditions still exist after a certain period of time, then that situation becomes very chronic, chronic inflammation. You know, a consistent uh, uh, you know, problem is there. You haven't gotten rid of it, so it becomes very chronic. And with chronic inflammation, what tends to happen is that all your body's functions tend to go in overdrive, you know, and that's what disease come into being, And after you have that condition for a long period of time, then other things start to break down.
Yeah.
You know? And chronic chronic conditions tend to break the body's defensive system down, and that's where you constantly try to get rid of the offending situation, but it's not, and it's there. So individuals tend to you know constantly have this thing, like, for example, you get you put a word next to in the end of it, itis. If your stomach is hurting you for a long while, you know you eat something, for example, and it's there, you eat the wrong food, but you're not able to pass it 1, 2, 3, 4 days, 5 days, then you get gastritis. The itis tend to continue, you know, and it begins as acute, but if it stays longer than a few days, maybe a week, and it goes into a month, then it becomes a chronic condition.
Then you get colitis.
Right. You get chronic gastritis.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's just a simple example. So these are things that we talked about it initially, and then we said that certain things, certain mediators outside of that tends to keep the condition going, like stress, like aging, you know, like all sorts of problems with even food, you know, keep you going. Sleep. We talked about sleep. Now, see, these are all different things that can help to perpetuate the condition and the situation, And when you have not really uh, mediate the problem or take care of the problem, then it's there for a long time, and that from one situation leads to another. Sometimes when you have you hurt your toe and your toe is hurting, sometimes you get a headache, right? Or sometimes it perpetuates to other situations. So once we have this condition lingering on, then we have a problem. We have a problem. And every condition I can ever think about, except anything that's genetic, is because of a chronic inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
It starts as acute, but as you linger, and people that are coming to us, they're coming not because the thing just happened. It's because I've been trying for a while, even my homemade recipe, or the bush, or this or that. They've been trying to get rid of that thing, but it still lingered. It became chronic. And once it's chronic, then you have to find another means of getting rid of it, right? But now some situations, people say that, well, because you're getting old.
Yeah. We hear that a lot. We hear a lot of that. It's because you're getting old. I heard that today. It must be old age.
Or you're dealing with a lot of stress. So these are things that happen. Well, yeah, but then, for example, an ulcer. For years, people would say, well, ulcers are caused because you're under a lot of stress.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Right. And they even label some of them stress ulcers. I'm just playing with the word, but stress ulcer just means that something is creating the problem, that is physical causing the problem. But however, so we think that, it's because of stress, but then when you really look into the matter, you see that this person was set up. When you go into the stomach, you see it's set up. H. pylori has been there, okay, and it's been sitting there for a long while. And then you contribute this bacteria and you sort of rationalize it. Well, because I ate this, this is every time I eat this, this is what happened. My stomach burns, I get gas, and this or that, or I eat too late. I'm not eating at the right time. We make a lot of different excuses.
Mm-hmm.
When you do check, you see the H. pylori is there, and once conditions of stress exist, yeah, stress does, help to even more to do what it's supposed to do. Well, that's what it's supposed to do. It create problems. You know, H. pylori, that's what it does. So stress breaks down your immune system and make everything available to attack you. So you get what, an ulcer. You get H. pylori, which, by the way, like I said, I keep saying all the time. I'm seeing it all the time. People come with H. pylori, all the time. And then, so what I'm saying, and I know I'm a little bit long, is that we have things already in us, the conditions that we experienced maybe a year ago. A lot of times when I find something in patients, I sometimes go back and say, you know what? I'm looking here at your stomach, and it looked to me that you had eaten something, it's some food you ate, and this caused you to have this problem with your stomach. And then when they go back, says, you know what? It did started with me vomiting. You know, I thought it was food poisoning, but it still lingered, and it's still there, even though it may have gotten better. You know, and you may not have been experiencing the initial, pains or whatever you were suffering initially. The thing's still there, and you eventually it grow. It's like you grow into it. You figure, this pain is always here. It's been here. Like I hear sometimes. I've always had this. You know,
Yeah.
but it was never there in the beginning. You know, so it's just that individuals, and it's a mind thing. We rationalize things. It happened. It's been there. So we are living with it.
Yeah, we adapt to it, and we
Yeah.
we tolerate it, and
Yeah.
not knowing that that condition multiplies
Yeah.
and keeps manifesting and
Yeah.
becomes a situation where it takes a toll on your digestive system, and then eventually it creates a problem where you activate your cancer cells
That's right.
because your immune system keeps depleting.
That's right.
You activate your cancer cells, and there you go. And we are seeing a lot of that happening recently, where persons have had cancer cells. Of course, we all have them in us,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like a sleeping giant.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to do something that awakens it, or something has to happen to awaken those cells. And if the wrong thing happens, then they become real rogue cells, where they become so vibrant that they want to take your body over.
Yeah, they're
You know?
resistant. They believe that you look. I mean, I've been here. I'm supposed to be here. It's just like people. They're squatters. You
Yeah,
know, you got squatters that move into your house. You're not there for a while. They move into your home, change the locks. This is what
next
can't.
thing you know, you can't do anything about it.
No, no, you can't put on your own house. And this is exactly what cells do. And another thing that I'm seeing, and I know it's very controversial, but I'm seeing, I'm screening a lot of patients, and I'm seeing that their lungs are full with coronavirus. Okay?
Well,
And they refer to the term now, they have a word now that they use now. It's long, Long, not Lung, not long COVID. It's long COVID. The coronavirus itself, they may not be having coronavirus disease, and the numbers that we look at maybe at 1 point something or 2 point something. When you go look at the lungs, you
yeah,
see the lungs are lined.
yes,
All of it is black.
I saw that. I saw that this morning with
Yeah.
somebody.
And you see the numbers are not, it's not active. It's not like from 0 to 2.85. They at 1 point something, 1 point something. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah,
And the virus is so stuck to the epithelial cells of the lung and the you know the
The
trachea,
trachea.
that it feels like it belongs there.
Yeah. It behaves as if it belonged there.
Yeah,
What
that way.
the problem that I found with that in many instances is that the persons are not aware
No,
of
they're not.
anything that's going on.
They're not. They're not
They have
aware.
no symptoms. They feel that, I'm okay, and how. And then the other thing is that if they go testing, at the lab doesn't find it.
Yeah,
They have no symptoms that tells them that they have it.
right,
They go to the lab says they don't have it,
right.
but then yet still they know that there's a problem.
Yes.
They've got a temperature. They're not able to breathe properly. They
They
can't
have,
do things and fatigue themselves.
right, and they have a dry cough.
They have a
Some,
dry cough.
some
Some of them don't even have a cough.
right.
Some
So,
don't even have a cough. But
so
it's a crazy virus that I think it mutates.
it does something, but it looks as it and it's not. And I thought it was people with who took the stuff, and I can't even say what it is. And people who didn't, and it's in everybody. It seems like most people, it's there. Those with or without it, with
Vaccinated
the shot.
or
Yeah,
unvaccinated.
yeah. And I'm saying to myself, well, but it's a good thing that you have a proprietary blend that only you have it, and I am not even aware as to what's in it, but that thing works.
Yeah.
Okay, it works, and I always say, look, I know it's not a from 0 to 2.85, but and I looked at it. I give patients sometimes, we may not have much of it, and I do the other thing, and they come back the same way. When I do the proprietary blend, and they come back, there's a change.
Yeah.
There's a change. So, it would be wonderful, because this is not just a problem. Uh, it's like everybody's having this thing. I mean, I thought it was just the vaccinated individuals, but unvaccinated too.
Yeah.
It's every time I screen people, it's like in almost everybody. 9 out of 10 persons that I screen is
Yeah.
on it. And it's a good thing that you have that proprietary blend. And if it should be like water in Guyana, that thing. It should be, people who come there, that should be one of the things that should be dispensed in them overwhelmingly.
And they should keep it at home.
Yeah, and they should keep it at home. It should be in
Yeah.
the so
Emergency medicine.
yeah. You need more of it, and only you have it. I don't know what's in it. I mean, you made it. God bless you to understand and to put it together, and it's needed. It's needed. The Guyana need it. People in Guyana need it, and people who coming from wherever else, they need it, because it's very beneficial, not just for coronavirus, but for from what I understand is for what is it for cancer,
It also destroys tumors,
tumors,
viruses, tumors,
and
cancer cells.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's beneficial, and I make sure that if I see the lungs aligned like that, they're getting it, because I tried the other things and they're still coming back. They're still coming back, sometimes worse, and of course we're there to help people, and I'm glad that you have that, and God was able to help you to put that together, and we need help, because there are other things coming out, and there are other situations that people are coming down with. A lot of I'm seeing too many tumors, too many malignant neoplasias, too many cancers. Too many.
I don't know what is really happening in our society, but I think that another factor that is contributing to those tumors and the immune deficiency is the chemicals that are used in the plants, in the foods,
Yeah.
in the vegetables.
Yeah.
We are seeing a lot of persons who, when they have the coronavirus or they have maybe streptococcus bacteria, even streptococcus pneumonia, we are seeing in them high levels of mercury, high levels of lead, high levels of mycotoxins.
Yeah.
And when you look at these elements that are present, you're seeing that for the most part, they're coming from the food, the plant food, the vegetables that are being sold in the marketplace.
Yeah,
Because we're seeing like DDT pesticides and all those things that are present. And I know people are not going to just drink it or eat it. It has to be in something that they're using.
it is. It is. And that antivirus tincture is good for that too, right?
Well, the antiviral tincture works on the viruses, but we have a formulation that are for the heavy metal detox and the mycotoxins.
Heavy metal detox, and that's what I do. That's what I'm doing too. I'm seeing a lot of that too. A lot of that too. And I can tell. And my first questions when I do see that, because I'm been seeing a lot of people from the interior. My question to them is that are you in the interior, or are you working in the interior? And 98% of the time is a yes. Okay, 98% of the time. The other 2% is that no, we're not. And I'm asking, well, how are you getting all this stuff in you? And then I find out that they themselves spray. They spray for
Mosquitoes and roaches and insects and all of that.
Yeah.
Not knowing that when they use those chemicals and they stay in the environment,
Right.
they're breathing in the chemicals themselves.
That's right. That's right. And we're talking about how people get sick. That's another way.
Many times we encourage the diseases that we bring on ourselves because we do things to try to protect ourselves. For instance, using the sprays to kill mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm.
Your internet is frozen.
Who mine?
Your internet was frozen, I think, for a minute.
Who mine?
Yeah, it was. Your internet was frozen. You were there, but your internet was frozen. I don't know if it's from your end or from this end, but it was frozen. It's clear now. But okay. I was saying that many times we spray the chemicals to destroy the insects that are present in our homes or offices.
Mm-hmm.
But yet still the same spray that we're using to kill the insects is also killing us. But we don't know that. We don't, we take it for granted that oh, it's a little mosquito, it will kill them. But the same chemicals that are used to take that mosquito's life, you're breathing it into your life.
It's going to take your life too. It's true.
Eventually, you spray enough of it, it will take yours.
Yeah, yeah. So we got.
If you breathe enough of it, it'll take a. But persons are not conscious of that. I always suggest that if you don't have the screens and you have to spray, come out of the environment, at least for a while, and allow it to the concentration to be reduced, so that at least you wouldn't get the high concentrated level of it. Yeah. Come out of the house.
Yeah.
Or close the windows earlier to avoid the mosquitoes from coming in.
Yeah, but you go out of the house, you can get bites.
Don't. Once you go in the house and you lock your windows and you lock your door, out there is a war zone with mosquitoes. Don't go outside. The other thing that is important is that persons they're not cleaning their drains, or the drains are not being cleaned.
Yeah.
So all that all the stuff that sits there, the mosquitoes are laying the eggs and they're producing other mosquitoes by the thousands.
Yeah.
Right in your backyard.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it would take, and I've been educating people for years regarding that matter. Screen your windows. Put a screen on there. I mean, if you come to any of where I am, if you come to the house, I got screens on the windows. I don't play with mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are dangerous.
Yeah.
They bring larvae when they bite you. They give you all sorts of things, all sorts of diseases.
Yeah. Yeah.
filaria, malaria. You don't trust the mosquito.
Chikungunya, Zika, all these different things.
Yeah, Zika virus, everything. It's just,
Oh, the malaria. So, yeah. So we're on the topic of dealing with what causes disease. I mean, in your environment.
why do we get sick? I mean, those are all factors that contribute to our illnesses.
Yeah, yeah,
You see,
yeah.
and some people see those mosquitoes and they say, "Oh, it's just a little mosquito," but he's already bitten you. You don't know what he put in there.
Yep. He can do one of two things: the alpha and the flavor virus, or malaria. You have it in your system. It's in your system once they bite you, wherever they're coming from. Uh, they're they're gonna transmit it to you. And many years ago, people were saying, well, when a mosquito bites you, it's a female mosquito that bites you, and once they bite you, that's it. They don't transfer anything. But that's not true. That's not true. I mean, they already orchestrated genetically modifying mosquitoes to
You
to
know,
inject.
I wanna mention something. One time I saw a mosquito,
Mhm.
or I should say what appears to be a mosquito, and he landed on my hand, and I saw it, and quickly I hit it. I hit the mosquito. That thing got up and fly.
Oh wow, what was he made of?
That wasn't a mos. That wasn't a mosquito. That was a genetically modified insect.
Yeah, and they're doing a lot of things like that. I mean,
And the speed that he took off with, he couldn't have been a regular mosquito.
yeah,
Couldn't have been.
I've
He
seen
didn't. He didn't bite me. Thank God he didn't bite me. But because I saw him,
it
I
hit it.
quickly tried to hit him and kill him. But
Yeah,
that guy didn't even fall. He just took off.
I've seen YouTube with information like that. They're making a lot of things up. I mean, they even have cameras that are mosquitoes.
Yes,
Cameras and
the mosquito camera.
yeah, yeah. So but yeah, mosquitoes. I mean, these things are contributors to the diseases and things like that. I wish we could, or maybe we can just deal with different aspects of what we're experiencing, like stress and aging and obesity and things like that, sleep and bacteria, viruses.
Well, we can talk a little bit about them. It's okay because we're talking about what makes
Yeah,
us sick.
but it's so it's so broad that maybe we need maybe one show for each thing.
If,
It-
if that's what it takes, then we can plan it and we can do it because our philosophy is to educate people so that they can make wise decisions. They'll be aware of what causes their problems
right.
and how to prevent the problems. That is what we want to do. That's what we do, and we like to get to the bottom of things.
Yeah, you know, like
Where it begun, what
right,
made it happen.
right. And a lot of people think that, like you said earlier, aging, because you're getting older, you must have to experience, you know, Alzheimer's. You must have to experience some problem with your heart. You must have to experience some problems with, hypertension and all these different things. Or you must have to experience some prostate cancer, you know, and all these different things. And I mean, initially, I mean, how I was taught, and those are things that are mentioned in the textbooks.
Yeah.
You're taught that way, but it ain't so.
No,
Uh,
we learned that pretty much the hard way.
yeah,
You
you know,
know.
and especially when you see people who are older, very old, and they don't have those things in their lives. You know.
I always wondered why they would say that prostate problems are old man's problems, or they used to say it's an old man's sickness.
Yeah, yeah,
That is something that used to be said, right?
yeah.
But then, as I got deeper into our work, several years ago, I realized that that can't be true because there are several older men who don't have prostate problems. And then there are many young men who are having prostate problems. So that philosophy went out the door because there is no way that someone in the 30s or 40s can be considered to be an old man, but yet still they have prostate problems. And then there's a man who's in his 90s or 80s, even 100, that doesn't have a prostate problem. You see, so that philosophy is in my opinion is out the window because it's happening pretty much at any age now. Prostate problems are happening at younger years. And we have learned that many of those conditions come from some bacteria that exist, some infections and bacteria that exist.
Well,
and we put ourselves in a position where we pick up those bacteria and infections. And we go and we get some sort of an antibiotic that take care of the symptoms maybe, and we think it's gone. Because the symptoms are gone, we think that the condition is gone. Just like H. pylori. H. pylori in under normal circumstances, they treat it with antibiotics.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, oh well, my H. pylori was really bad, and I took the antibiotics, and now I don't really have the H. pylori, but my stomach still burns a little bit, and I still don't feel very good in it, but the H. pylori is gone. When you screen them, H. pylori is right there.
And I know when you hear that story, right, as it happens with me, I already know that it's there. It happens all the time. Once I hear that, I know, and then all the symptoms that they're talking about, it's just like a sure thing, in my mind, because it's so consistent, the story,
Yeah.
and the result of it is also consistent, when you hear that. But going back to your old man disease and your prostate, yeah, we were taught that, and it is, as we talked about earlier, it's an itis, right? When you go on, we dive into, we go and we visit the prostate, all the itis is showing, it's prostatitis.
Yep.
Prostatitis,
urethritis,
arthritis, and all these different things, the bacteria and all the bacteria are showing up. That is the home. They love that particular organ.
Yeah.
That's their penthouse, and they live there for years.
Yep, that's right. And they live there until you become older.
Yeah, until you become.
And then they attack you.
Then they attack you, and so it's an interesting thing, for me, a revelation, because I ordinarily would not believe it, but I'm seeing it all the time.
Yeah.
It's an incredible thing. It's an incredible thing, and the other thing is to see that you're told that there's nothing that can be done about it, because you're progressing in that direction. You can't turn the boat around once but that's not true either.
Yeah.
That's not true either. So, it's interesting. That is interesting. So maybe we could spend. I know there's a lot of people, especially men, and women too, that you can say the contrary for women. I mean, they don't have prostates, but they do have uteruses.
Yes, they have the cervix, they have the uterus, they have the ovaries. It's crazy, and the same for many of the same families. The same thing that affects the prostate affects the uterus, affects the ovaries.
It's the same mechanism.
The same bacteria.
Yeah, the same thing.
By the way, the folks can call if they like to call and ask a question or have a concern with their health, we can take a few calls and try to see how we can help. The numbers on the screen. We take the call at the 231-6477 number, and then we will try to address whatever it is if we can. Because I realize now that Dr. Richard, we only have about 17 minutes.
What? Time go. Where did the time go? But it's for the most part, if you don't have a disease that is genetic, and that, I think we need to look at that too. It is an infection, a chronic infection. If it's been there a long time, it's a chronic infection. And it just takes us a little time to go and visit where that thing is and try to find out exactly what's going on. And the majority of times it's an infection.
But it's amazing. It's amazing how deep you have to dig.
Yeah.
To find, and the more chronic the conditions are, the deeper you have to dig.
Deeper.
The longer it exists, the deeper you have to dig.
Yeah. That's why, I let people know, because I've seen it. With the initial visit, we're going to clean you up. If we have not found anything yet, usually we find what's really wrong, but there's other stuff involved. There's other things involved. Yeah. And once we clean you up, it's just, and I let them know, it's just like cleaning a messy house.
Where something will show up again. Yeah. It's possible that something is at the bottom of all that dirt.
Exactly. Something that perhaps you were looking for in a house. You've been looking for years and said, man, this is where it is. This is, so, we got to clean it up. We got to clean it up. And it's important that, and people, and I say this sincerely now, because if you've had a problem for a long time, and we're getting a lot of people like that where they've gone all over, and they come, and like I tell them, look, you and I are gonna take this trip. We're gonna go and visit all your organs in your body. You with me, you're on this trip with me, and we go every place. And I said, this is what's happening here. You see it, right? Yes. This is what's happening here. You see it. Yeah. And, a lot of times it's like, man, but I didn't tell you that, but that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I'm experiencing this. I forgot to tell you this. And that's how it works out. So, people need to come. People need to come. I mean, you're doing a good thing, and you're helping the people in Guyana and wherever else you go. And I'm glad to be able to be there to help with you.
It's a challenge now, because we started going to New York, and the people in New York are crying to get me there. We started going to Florida, and now I can't get out of there. We have to work remote to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I went to St. Martin. They're willing to fly me back out there again.
Mm-hmm.
It's really becoming very demanding. And then I now have this new concept that people are bringing to me, which is something that I wanted to do all along, but we started to do it, but then we didn't. We stopped. They're asking now for a facility where they can come and go to, and we can treat them at the facility, because they have issues with the foods that they have to stop eating, and they don't know what to prepare and what to eat and all that stuff. I mean, we hear that all the time. Doc, the list that I got, I don't know what to eat. But it's not that we give you that list because we want to give you that list. That list was presented to you from your body system because the foods that you're using are making you sick. The foods that you're using and the liquids that you're using are contributing to your illnesses. And your body is saying to you, based on the findings that are discovered, these foods will contribute to your problems further. And at this time, you should avoid them.
That's right.
We have to keep repeating that over and over. It's not like we're putting them on a diet.
Yeah.
It's your body system that is saying to you, you got this problem now, this food is contributing to your problem. So you need to stop using it for now. It's not permanent. Just do do it for now, overcome your problem, then you could go back and eat some things again, you know. But that's the biggest challenge that we have. So I spoke with someone at an institution today,
Mhm.
and we are going to have another discussion about the persons who are really sick that need to get that type of facility, that they can house them there. They
Mhm.
already have a staff of nurses. They have other doctors that probably will be able to look at them when we are not able to look at them. And they will follow our protocol. We want them to be able to follow our protocol. Why? Because we have discovered now in you what is causing a problem, and we want to guide you through the process of overcoming the problem properly. You know, there are times when there may be a need for medicines that are stronger for pain or whatever it is. We may have to have some of those administered until the normal natural process takes its course and the inflammation is overcome.
Yeah. I
You know,
mean,
because once there's pain, there's inflammation.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Something is there that's causing it. Something mediating that.
Yeah, there is always a pain does not go without an inflammatory state being present.
That's right.
And that is very difficult for some persons to handle and understand because
Hmm.
pain is a humdinger. Pain is sometimes unbearable,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's agonizing, and you see the agony in people because the pain is so severe,
yeah, yeah,
but the inflammation is severe.
yeah, yeah. And you need stronger medication.
Sometimes you need
That,
stronger medicines to remove that help to remove the inflammatory state.
mm-hmm.
And in that environment, those things can be administered, and then we can always detoxify or administer something that will help to remove
Yeah,
the effects of that particular medicine or drug, whatever it is. It's going to be it's not going to be easy, but for some persons it may be a good answer because now they don't have to worry about what to cook.
yeah,
We're going to speak with the institution about preparing meals for the condition.
yeah, yeah.
This is what they got to eat. Don't
That's
cook the regular food and give them because it doesn't go along with what we're trying to help them to overcome.
yeah.
It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a real challenge, but
Everything is
at the institution, you
yeah.
know, but it shouldn't be a challenge at home
No,
because at home you're in control of what you eat and what you can cook, or
that's,
someone at the house can do that.
yeah. You're in charge.
Yeah,
But a lot of times, people they don't have the discipline.
yeah,
Meat, and I've run into that too. It's like a drug, and it is a drug. And it's hard to get off of it, and they need an environment where they're not exposed to their own refrigerators.
yeah. Indeed, indeed. Because if the refrigerator is there,
Yeah,
chances are they're going to go inside the refrigerator and take something out. And that something that they take out may not be what they need to take out.
yeah,
You
and
know,
people,
those are challenges that will present themselves.
yeah.
Unfortunately,
Well,
you know.
it's a good idea though. It's a very good idea. Um,
Yeah, I spoke with the administrator today, and we're going to continue our dialogue to see how best we can probably put something like that together, because I had two cases this week where persons really wanted to be institutionalized,
mm,
and we told them that we couldn't handle the state that you're in at the clinic because you will need someone to be there with you at least 12 to 18 hours.
right, right, right.
So we had to let them go to an institution where they can get, but they don't want to be there.
Yeah, because they're not providing the same care.
Yeah.
Now that we need everybody to be
Yep.
And that's the reason why we have a food list. Some foods turn on inflammation, some of them turn off inflammation, and some promotes inflammation. So yeah, that is a good idea to be able to have an institution where they can eat very healthy foods, you know, and it's good. And the other thing is we it seemed like we touched all the different areas that we we want to talk about. Obesity. That's the other thing that we didn't
Oh
mention.
my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's a serious problem here. Um, we actually had today, or not today, persons who need to be weighing about 145 pounds are weighing almost twice their weight. Yeah, we've had that this week. One person's weighing over 200, nearly 290 pounds. And that's, that's almost twice the weight that she needs to have.
So in that way, you don't really even have to guess. You figure they have hypertension, for sure they have diabetes. You know, they have all the other problems that are maybe H. pylori too because they're eating
Well,
everything.
it's funny. It's funny. We think that that should be the case,
But a lot of
but
times
this person
she
does
doesn't have.
not have hypertension.
Okay,
Um, she's borderline elevated blood sugar,
diabetes.
and actually is anemic.
Oh, she's anemic too, so she needs a B12 or iron or something.
Yeah, we had to put her on some. We had to put her on some B complex
Yeah.
and a blood tonic actually. And
Oh,
this person is with nearly 290 pounds.
yeah.
So what is it that they're eating? How is it that you can weigh all of that? You can get that size, and still you're malnourished. It means that you're not eating the right foods, or you're eating foods. Besides that, the person was laden with parasites.
Oh, okay. So they're eating stuff that uh that's contributing to the parasites, the bacteria, the virus, the fungus, whatever. I know that they will have a lot of fungus because the immune system is probably not very good.
Yeah.
Number six probably popped up on top, you know. But it's amazing to me. I mean, I don't remember growing up. I mean, I was a little chubby, but I don't remember people being real obese. I hardly used to see
You
people.
used to know you used to know who they were in those days.
Oh, because there are not too many.
There weren't too many.
Yeah,
There weren't too many. You know, if someone had cancer in those days, you basically knew who they were because it wasn't something that was common.
yeah, yeah,
For instance, I would always use the example also, if a woman had smoked cigarettes in those days when we were growing up, you knew who she was because it wasn't common for women to smoke cigarettes.
right, right. It's out of
You
all,
know,
out of the way.
so
Yeah,
things have really changed and turned to a point now where you don't know who is who.
mhm.
You don't know who's man or who's woman.
Hmm.
That's another subject. You
Yeah,
don't know who's got. You see people walking, looking healthy down the road. You don't know what they possess.
yeah,
It's like I was telling the people today all week, actually, it's important to wear your mask. Wear your mask, not because of coronavirus. Wear your mask because you don't know who's got a bacteria. You don't know who's got pneumonia. You don't know who's got a adenovirus. You don't know who's got streptococcus. You don't know who's got anything. So when people come in front of you and they sneeze or they cough, you don't know what they have that they're passing on to you. So
yeah.
the mask is not just to prevent yourself from coronavirus, it's to help you to prevent yourself from all sorts of things.
Well, I prefer somebody wearing a mask if they're going to be talking over my food. So,
Exactly.
but yeah. Other than that,
Exactly.
but the thing is, there is a lot to be done. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of. I'm very excited about what you where you're heading with that facility because um, you'll be able to help a lot of people.
A lot more. A lot more. There are persons I mean, they're actually begging us to do it. And I've heard it so many times now that, actually in the beginning, I was building an institution like that, in Linden. I was building a healthcare facility that was all natural, and I still got the approval for it. It was approved by the government. I had everything in place to actually put it together, and
Just do it.
somehow
It's,
distracted.
it's needed, and it's it's a lot of work though.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of responsibility.
You know,
Um,
you got to get good people.
but it's needed. I think the time has come for an institution of that nature to
Mhm.
be in this hemisphere or this environment, because there are many persons who want to go the route of a natural approach.
Yeah,
There are many persons who want to take the route of a preventative approach. They don't want to wait until something happened before they do something about it.
right. And this what we're doing is
That's what we teach.
right. It's a lot.
That's
It's
what
a
we
lot
teach.
preventative. Yeah, a lot more preventative. You're able to see where you're heading. You have enough. If you come early enough, you have enough time to turn around. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I want to say before, and believe it or not, we only have a minute. What I really want to say now is that if you're sick and you really need help, and you want to be able to get it to an institution where we could find the cause of your problem, and you're willing to do what it takes to help yourself to overcome the problem, then you can call us, make an appointment, schedule yourself, be prepared to make some changes, because you cannot continue to do what you're doing that got you sick and expect to get better.
No.
It doesn't work. So any final words, Dr. Richard? It's 7 o'clock.
Oh wow, time went real quickly, and
Yes.
yeah, no, just we know what's causing diseases, and we know uh, things that we can do to prevent them. Let's just do them. Let's
If
just
you want to get better, just do it. It's temporary. Um, it's for your own benefit. So if you want to get better, it makes sense. Don't do the same thing that got you sick and expect to get better. You
yeah.
have to make a change. You have to alternate. You have to find an alternate way of doing what you need to do to get better. And don't say you don't know what to eat, because there's a whole lot more that you could eat that you haven't explored yet.
Yeah. And I'll be the first to say, I mean, for me, I know we can't help everybody.
No.
There are some people who may come initially, but not willing to put the work into trying to change their lifestyle. And it's not easy. But we can't help everybody. We don't have 100% rate, right?
No. Well, we got a call. Let me see if we can take this call very quickly. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
You have to be brief because the time is already up.
Is this you on the TV?
Yes, it's we have a program and it's on, and we are at the end of the program.
So you don't remember me, man? Annandale Sheila.
Of course I remember you. Yes,
Yes, what part you live in?
we're still in the same place in Kitty.
In Kitty.
Yes, the clinic is in Kitty. Yes.
Okay, I'll double check you out. You remember when you come by sister them neighbor
Okay. I remember.
You listen your friend, man.
Okay, I remember. Yes.
I'll double check you out today.
Okay, all right. Thanks for calling. Okay.
All right.
Okay. You're in Annandale at the moment?
She left.
Yeah, I think she's gone. Yeah, well, I wanted to know that the signal is reaching there. Anyhow, it appears to be reaching Annandale. I want to thank you for being on the program today. We had a good discussion, and we're going to continue to do our work in helping people to overcome, as long as they're willing to do what it takes. I don't know if I can take this call. I don't know if the operator will give me a minute. Let's see quickly. Good evening. Good evening. Yes, you have to be very brief.
What time will you be there in the office tomorrow?
All right, the office opens for 8 o'clock, so you can get here maybe 7:30. Okay.
Before in the afternoon.
But no, in the morning. But you should call and make an appointment. It's best.
Okay, call in the morning before I.
Call in the morning about 8 o'clock. Okay.
Okay,
What area are you calling from? Oh, you're in Grove. Very good. Very good. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Okay. We appreciate you looking on.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah, the calls are going to come in now, but we have to go. The time is up. Dr. Richard, thank you very much. We'll be on again next Thursday, God's willing. We'll do what it takes to help people once they're willing to help themselves. And I know you're glad to be a part of the team. That it's three of us. And I mean, there's a lot of work, but we're happy to do it to help people to get better.
Thank
So,
you for the invite.
on behalf of the Health and Wellness Center, Dr. Richard and myself, we want to thank you for watching, for participating, and for believing in us, because the first thing you have to do is believe that God can help you, because we do nothing without him. Okay, we give him the praise and the glory, but he's with us in our works, and I know he guides us. He guides our hands.
Right.
And if you're willing to be part of the process to be able to overcome this illness that you're suffering with, give us a call, and we'll be glad to try to do our best to help you. Dr. Haynes saying good night. God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend. See you next time. So long.
So long. So long. Thank you.